In February 2022, I got on the phone with Pima County Supervisor Steve Christy, 2 weeks after I was kidnapped off a public street. Nearly a year had passed since the Sheriff's Department admitted the construction noise was disturbing my peace. And in all that time, not a single thing was done to stop it.
Listen, I want you to understand that I can't, and I'm not trying to argue with you. I understand that it's a problem, and they're disturbing your peace. We all understand that, okay?
Fast forward to May 2025. 3 years of silence, 5 years of abuse. And what's changed? Nothing. Except now they've tried to rewrite history, demonize me, fabricate a criminal record, erase the truth, exonerate the guilty, and gaslight the rest of us into submission. Most recently, I was accused of trespassing and harassing the contractors again. Contractors who were out behind my home at 2:53 in the goddamn morning. That's an hour before the law that they lobbied even kicks in. Yes, after changing the law to allow 4 a.m. construction, they're still pushing the limit, still waking up families, and still protected. And now, we go back to that conversation where Steve Christy, the man elected to represent me, got on the phone and said, "There's nothing I can do. Your only option is to sue." As if the average citizen has the money, the time, or the power to fight a system that's already decided who matters and who doesn't.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Supervisor Steve Christy's office. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi. I'm calling to speak to somebody on the board that takes care of Mr. Christie's schedule. Has he happened to be in the office yet?
You mean the clerk of the board?
Clerk of the board. There you go.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Is he in today yet?
Hello, this is Supervisor Steve Christy.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Well, I'd like to be doing better. I typically don't like to call public officials or talk to them, but we got a mess going on here with Richmond American Homes. I guess it started with a rezoning meeting, but yeah, there's lots of issues going on.
Well, what can I do to help?
I don't know. I've tried every other avenue, so now I'm going to you to see what we can get done. There's a lot of neighbors that are upset over here.
What is it in particular you want me to do?
I don't know what you can do. Nobody seems to do anything. These contractors and developers seem to run with impunity. And I don't know. I'm asking what you can do for us. We have a road here that's Old Vale Road. It is a primitive road, and during our rezoning meeting, we were explicit that either they pave that road or they not use that road. It was agreed upon that they didn't use that road, and now they're bringing their construction trucks and all these heavy equipment down there, and it's destroying this road. They have a brand new paved road into their first phase, and they don't want to use that because they don't want to destroy their road. The other thing is now today, we live on acres where we've had to give up 15 feet of our private property for access. They are now using our private easement as access into their construction site. It has gotten out of control. These contractors don't listen to anybody. I've called the sheriff's department, and the sheriff has come out and arrested me. So this is going to get bigger than anybody that can ever imagine in Pima County. You guys are all going to be famous. So what can you do to stop these people from running over the people that have lived out here for 25 years? That would be my question.
Well, I can tell you at this point, not knowing all the details and not knowing all the agreements and not knowing all the particulars, it doesn't sound like I can do very much at this point.
Okay. Well, I'm not asking for you to do something in the next 5 minutes. It's been 2 years, and it's going to be another 2 years. Right now, all of their trash is blowing into my neighbors' yards. My neighbors are upset. Everybody out here is very, very upset.
Well, I'd be glad to call Richmond and American and relay to them the fact that you're all upset with them.
They shouldn't be using our private easement as a construction access. I mean, that is absolutely, when we told them that we didn't want them using, the reason why we want to go through the proper channels, correct, a rezoning meeting, is so that everybody's grievances can be heard and they can be addressed. Is that correct?
Did they hold one? Is that what you're asking me? I don't
No,
know.
I know they held one because I was there and I listed my grievances. At the end, it was agreed upon that they weren't supposed to drive down Old Vale Road. Old Vale Road is a public road, but their development has no access to that. So,
what was the agreement? Where is this agreement? Is was it memorialized in any kind of a signed off statement that they would do that according to what you just told me?
it doesn't matter. If the county gave them a permit to go ahead and use this road, then we need to figure out how this is going to be fixed. If nothing can be done about this, we need to bring this to light so that it is changed and it doesn't happen to somebody else out here, because they're bringing in developments like they're bringing in quick trips to Tucson. So this needs to be figured out. You can be a hero in this, Steve. You really can. I'm giving you an opportunity to be a hero. They are driving on our private easements. Do you understand that? With big, heavy equipment. And then when they leave, I've already personally spent over $5,000 on bringing in dirt, getting a mini excavator to be able to mitigate all the flooding that they just paid a fine on. I don't think anything's going to happen with you today, but I think once you start looking into this, you're going to understand how huge this is. My street was a river for 24 hours, 3 feet deep, because of the developers moving in. I've been talking about this now for 10 years, and they are now corralling the water, and the county allowed them to pay a fine and not retain any water and let it shed all off into our street. This is not good. So this is huge mess that's going on, and a phone call to Richmond Homes at this point. I've already talked to the COO. Actually showed up in my driveway. That's how serious it is. So, and then we made an agreement, and they broke their agreement 4 days later. The sheriff's department arrested me for videotaping on a public street. Then a week later, they go ahead and start using our private easement, parking semis on there. There's trash blowing across. They put up caution tape. It's in my neighbor's front yard. They put blocks down with plastic. The plastic is all in everybody's front yard right now. And I've been complaining to these people for 2 years about trash. I have to spend 30 minutes in my acre cleaning up trash every single weekend for 2 years. I've let them know. I've been the one that's only affected for the first phase, because it is kitty corner off the back of mine, and they have nothing else but desert except the corner of my property. They now have moved into phase 2 and just started working in there to build homes. And the first day they brought trash out, every bit of it is in my neighbor's front yard. All of my neighbors called and complained on them last week. I've been the boy who cried wolf, like I said, because it has been basically affecting me for this first phase for the past 2 years. Now everybody else is getting affected because it is right on our main easement where everybody else's property is. So, like I said, I understand you can't do anything today, but But yes, this is I'm trying to escalate it up. I called the county about the road and about this. Terry Tillman, who was the person who approved the plans, she actually sent me an email back saying not to contact her anymore, which is wholly inappropriate for somebody who works for the people. The biggest issue was they had a single story provision in there also. And when they went to go ahead and submit the drawings for a building, they made some modifications and got rid of that first row story, single story provision, in which 16 houses were going to look into my yard, which we moved out here 25 years ago to avoid that. So we understand people are going to move in next door, but it needs to be in a respectful manner. So the single story provision, that's why the COO showed up in my driveway. We were able to come to agreement on that. They are not building single story homes on that portion, but everything else, they're basically brushing off to the side and not doing anything.
Would you say you've been financially damaged by all of this?
You have no idea how much money I have spent. My dogs now have valley fever because we've lived out here for 25 years. I'm actually going to go get tested to see if I have valley fever because I've been so tired. But my dogs are both going to die now of valley fever. They're on medicine because, like I said, I can't prove obviously, but we've been out here for 25 years. And now the other thing too is, I also took a picture of the corner of the development where the water was 4 feet deep in the corner of the development right by my house. That phase, they're not supposed to let 10% of the water off. So that their prospective buyers didn't have to see it, they actually knocked holes in the block wall with a sledgehammer so all the water could drain out and dirt, dust, water into my property and flow through my yard. I mean, this is so insane that it's like... So yes, I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars we've spent already. Me personally.
Well, what I would advise you to do if you've been damaged financially is I'd get yourself a sharp, aggressive lawyer and sue them. You've got standing, you've got damages.
Nobody wants... Well, if you have...
Right, left, they haven't complied according to what you're telling me. They haven't followed what they've agreed to do.
Okay,
so
understand. Very...
And if I were you, I'd go ahead and I'd sue the hell out of them.
Well, yeah, that is definitely...
That would be number one if it was me.
It is number one, but here, let me tell you, I do have plenty of resources. You understand that? But here's what happened.
I hope you have a people resource.
But here's no, because we live in Tucson, Arizona. My family's lived here for 100 years. To try and get somebody to sue one of these developers, to try and get a lawyer worth any of his salt around here that has the guts to sue any of these, every single lawyer around here is spineless, gutless, and ballless to help me file a lawsuit against them, Mr. Christy. So I am working on that.
There are lawsuits of galore in this town, and it seems to me that any lawyer, would just grab this case and run with it and have a ball.
If you have any suggestions of somebody I could call, I'm all ears. And then the other thing is...
let me research that a little bit, and if I can come up with someone, I'll call you back.
All right,
but
and then
how I do.
Well, we have to take a multi-prong. We have to.
A hungry dog on these people. I'm sure
absolutely.
There's someone out there that would just love the opportunity.
Well, I've been looking, and then like I said, you don't want.
I've been in business in this town for 40 years.
Yeah.
I was in the car business.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to have to deal with regulators and government agencies and people like that. And I got to tell you, there are lawyers galore that would just jump on this case and run with it, and you need to get one.
Yes, but for the multi-pronged approach, the lawyer is the long-term solution.
You just said you've been incurring financial damages. You can't let that go on. because it's just going to keep piling and piling and piling.
Oh, and
you need to cut it in the bud right now and list all your damages and sue the hell out of these people. That's the only way you can get any kind of recourse.
So them driving on our private easement, the county and the government can't do it. The government came out and arrested me for sitting on a public road. Hang on. The government came out and arrested me for sitting on a public road documenting.
That's even more damages. So I would say that could just pile right on top of everything else.
You have no idea. They unlawfully arrested me live.
I have a very good idea, sir. I've been in this town for all my life, and I've been in business. I know how these things work, and I tell you, there are lawyers that would just grab this thing and run with it like a horse with a bit in its mouth.
Well, we definitely need to do that. But what?
The harder it's going to be for your lawyers to do anything.
Okay. Well, what's the recourse of the government having them stop? Using our.
What I've been telling, the recourse is what I've been telling you all along: a lawsuit. Sue the county. Sue Richmond, America. Sue anybody that's been in any way, shape, or form causing you financial damages. Then throw psychological damages, emotional damages. You can make yourself a multi-millionaire out of this if you play your cards right with these little lawyers, and there are lawyers that'll do it. You need to find yourself an aggressive, sharp lawyer and sue the hell out of these people, including the county.
I mean, I'm in 100% agreement, and that's been my plan. With, like I said, this. Yeah.
I agree.
So there's so basically what you're saying is, the county's not going to do anything. Obviously,
it seems like you've exhausted all your remedies through the county.
They
haven't responded. They haven't done anything.
Well,
you haven't gotten recourse through the county. You only have one other remedy, and that's through legal means. That is your right to sue, and you need to exercise that right and get on it sooner rather than later, because the longer you wait, the less effective your lawsuit is going to be.
Got it.
As I say, I compile everything, make notes, add up all the damages, get witnesses, and just sue the hell out of the county, Richmond, America, and anybody else that's caused you damages. You better do it as soon as you can.
Well, like I said, so just so you know, all of this has been documented on video and audio. Every single moment of I've called the sheriffs to come out 5 times. They've sat there. They told me to continue recording. Then they went ahead and said that
sheriffs aren't going to do it. You need a lawyer.
Sure. Well, you've been here for 40 years. My father's owned a swimming pool company for over 40 years here in Tucson, and my parents we never wanted to go that route. You know what I mean? They never wanted to sue anybody. So I don't.
That's the only route you've got.
I understand, but I'm just saying that I don't know. I mean,
you've got to do that.
I have. Do you know who Michael Bloom is? Yes. He's my criminal attorney, and I'm very lucky to have him. But he said he says he doesn't want to fight the county right now. He's got so much going on, and he wants to retire. So he told me that he doesn't.
And what you say is you go next, and you look in the yellow pages under criminal attorneys or damage attorneys. They will just jump at this chance. So that's the recourse, and that's what I'm advising you to do on this.
Okay. And
if I come up with an attorney that I know would grab this thing, I'll call you. I'll do a little research and see what I can come up with.
I appreciate that.
All right. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I think it's time for this country to take back our country. This is an issue of government transparency. We can't trust a government that does not trust its people. We're going to uncover the cover-up, and I hope this is just the beginning of more people coming forward about this.